I'm Ben Newman, and I couldn't be any more excited to have this opportunity to spend time with you during this year's Power of Positive Summit. When John Gordon reached out with the opportunity to join all of you again, I said, absolutely. We have to do it. We have to make it happen. Now, I have a couple questions for you to get started. And in fairness to all of you, I want you to know that I've been through a significant amount of challenge and adversity, ups and downs, since 2 years ago when I had the opportunity to spend time with you. There have been great things that have happened, but there's been challenge, and it happens to all of us. And what I am continually reminded of when you surround yourself with the right mentors and coaches, and I've been blessed to have John Gordon as a mentor of mine since February of 2008, is that those mentors and coaches help remind you of the strength that lies within you on your toughest days, the days when you feel like you have nothing left in the tank. So the question I have for you is, who are you currently surrounding yourself with that helps remind you of the strength that lies inside of you when you get knocked down? Who is it that is there for you? And are you open and transparent and vulnerable with those individuals? Because what I have found is we don't have to do it alone in life. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, who are you surrounding yourself with? And are you being vulnerable enough? The mentors, the coaches, those individuals in your life, I promise you, they'll help pick you up off that mat of life. And oftentimes they'll help you see things that you don't see yourself to find strength and to build consistent habits and disciplines that'll take you to your next level. The second thing I wanted to ask you is, how's your environment right now? And the reason why I ask you that question is when I think of the times where I've faced challenge and adversity, typically I find that there was something in my environment where there was an area of opportunity. I didn't have something set up correctly. Maybe it was the time that I wake up. Maybe it was something in my nutrition. Maybe it was the way my office was set up at the time. But if your environment isn't set up for success, oftentimes we fall short of the daily disciplines that are required for us to achieve greatness. So think about your current environment. Is your environment set up for success? And is there consistency in your environment? One of the things that we often find when we take our time to slow down, to read great books and to research, is that the highest level performers have great consistency in their environment and their daily action. And, as we talked about first, the individuals they surround themselves with who challenge them and help them get up off that mat of life when they are struggling or in tough times. So how is your environment? And what changes would you want to make to your environment? And if your environment is currently working for you, are there ways that you can still enhance your environment even though things are going well? So we've talked about the individuals in your life, the mentors, the coaches, the people who help you. We've talked about your environment. Now let's talk about something that I was reminded of when I started my work with the Alabama football program last year. It's what I call standard over feelings. The Alabama football program is the most storied program in the history of all of college sports. This season, I'm actually on my visit right now to kick off my second year of work with the team. And one of the things we talked about in training camp last year is standard over feelings. Don't allow your feelings to dictate how you show up. You have to show up when times are good, when times are bad, and live to the standard that will cause you to have success. When I think of this, I think about feelings. It's the example where you're in sales, and yesterday you did something that was unbelievable, and because it was so great, you say, I don't have to work today. I don't have to drive my daily disciplines. Didn't you see what I sold yesterday? That's allowing your feelings to dictate how you show up. Or you say, I've been doing such a great job on my sales calls. When I look forward to my schedule, it's amazing what I am going to achieve. It's amazing what I'm going to sell this week, so I don't need to work today. That's allowing your feelings to dictate how you show up. What drives the most success is when you don't worry about yesterday or tomorrow. You understand what drives success and disciplines, what wins championships. And you do it every single day, especially on the days that you just don't feel like doing it. One of my favorite stories of standard over feelings is about a dear friend of mine named Claudio Gambin. Claudio's given me permission to share this story. He's a financial advisor in Orlando, Florida. When I started working with Claudio 5 years ago, he was doing over $800,000 in sales in financial services. Speed forward to today, he now sells over $2 million a year in financial services, one of the top advisors in the country at 31 years old. And I remember last year we were driving in the car heading to have dinner when I was down in Orlando for a performance coaching trip. And we're driving in the car and I asked him the question. I said, Claudio, what makes you great? What makes you great? And he said, it's an easy answer. He said, if I did something, like sold something really big yesterday, I'm going to make a really big commission, I had a really big impact, it doesn't dictate how I show up today. If I have 5 huge opportunities tomorrow, it doesn't dictate how I show up today. I have to show up and do what I said I was going to do today, because if I don't, the amount of guilt that I have to deal with is too much for me to handle. I would rather just do the work. Now, in hearing that, it makes simple. But isn't the application of that tough? Now, I would submit to you, whether it comes to something that Claudio has done, whether it's an example that you have in mind, whether it's the Alabama Crimson Tide, the periods of time where you've been most successful, I'd be willing to bet that your feelings haven't dictated how you show up. There's a standard that you live by that causes you to have success. You know, in life, we can't control our results, but we can control our effort, our attitude, and how we show up every single day. If you stay focused on the daily disciplines, the process, the standard that will cause you to have success, and you take it one day at a time, and you win one day at a time, you will write a story of significance that you have never dreamt for yourself. Far too often we fall short. The periods of time where I look back, where I have to call on those coaches, I've been knocked down. Typically, I've fallen off of my disciplines. That's right. As a coach, as a speaker, I have periods of time where I fall off of my disciplines too. And when I am vulnerable and I have self-accountability to say, hey, I need to work on this. So as I've shared with you, what an unbelievable opportunity to spend this time with you back on the Power of Positive Summit, to let you know I've been through tough times. I'll have more tough times ahead, but I will always continue to surround myself with those mentors and coaches. I encourage you to do the same. How's the environment? Is your environment set up for success? Times when I feel like I am off track, there's something going on in my environment. And how are you doing with showing up consistently every single day to drive that standard, to drive those daily disciplines, focusing on winning one day at a time? Where you are right now is no indication, if you're in the middle of that challenge and adversity, of how your story is going to finish. Keep showing up every day. Keep believing in yourself. Remember that everything you need is already in you. But you got to choose to dig down deep and to take it every single day, to believe in yourself, to grab that extra potential, to take the action, to get the results, and then when you get them, don't be seduced by success. Continue to hammer that standard over feelings. Go win one day at a time. Enjoy the summit. Enjoy all of the amazing speakers. So many lessons. I always enjoy this every single year because it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to reflect, to be vulnerable, to look at that self-accountability and figure out ways that we all can improve to get to the next level. Continue to go do great things.